Hello world, Finding Scruples here, aka Tina, and it is a Monday morning. It's looking really sunny out here in San Francisco, but I think it might be like 42 degrees outside. It is super cold, so I got on my nice comfy sweater. And I wanted to hop on here today to, first of all, before I get into the tolerance, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this word tolerance that I hear being thrown out just willy nilly all day long from the left and from the right, but mainly from the left. And I don't know. I wanted to talk about this during the election because everything was just heightened. There was a lot of emotion. There's still a lot of emotion. You had all the stuff going on and just not a lot of tolerance, not a lot of compassion. But I never really got a chance to get to it. But it's still popping up now. And I've been thinking about it, and I've realized that I don't think people really know what that word means. I think, like so many other things, so much of the English language as we know it is just being turned around, topsy turvy, upside. I don't know what's going on. Up is down, left is right, black is white. It's ridiculous. But let me try to stay on topic here. So we're going to talk about tolerance, but before I really get into that, I got some news today from somebody at work, and I wasn't really aware of it, that Gavin Newsom wants to go ahead and open up California and put us on the purple tier. Now, I have no idea about these tiers. I haven't been keeping up. I don't pay any attention to it. When I go out, I don't wear a mask unless I absolutely have to. Life is moving, life really, it just keep it moving, keep it pushing. It really hasn't changed much for me. I still travel. I still go out where I can. Not all businesses in California were closed. And so I just haven't been paying attention because it's just ridiculous. But apparently we've moved to purple tier out here. And we're not surprised. So we're trying to recall him. And there has been a massive, massive, massive effort to do so. And I think we have about 1.1 million signatures, maybe a little more than that. We need about 1.5 in order to make this happen and put it on the ballot. And so there's a fire that's been lit up under him, and he realizes that, time is coming. And so now all of a sudden he wants to open up California. Now you guys know he's had his wine tasting room out there in Napa open since this began. He never shut it down, throwing parties, no mask, while he's telling the rest of us to stay at home. So again, the hypocrisy of the left is not really all that surprising. And I love how all of a sudden we're going to open up just a few days after the inauguration of Panda Bear Joe. We all saw this coming. All of a sudden, we have vaccines, and it's the world is a beautiful place. Now, I remember when President Trump said that we would have a vaccine by the end of the year. They were calling him crazy, telling him he was misleading people, telling us that he was misleading people. He was having, people in the country believing falsities and it's a lie. And here we are distributing vaccines at the end of December. He was right. But it was President Trump, so. Anyway, again, tolerance is the word for today. So what kind of sparked this whole thing? Was I was going through my feed, and I came across a BuzzFeed article, and it said something to the effect of taking care of babies, what's really going on? And I was like, taking care of babies, what is this? Like, I wasn't really sure what the reference meant, and so I did a little further reading, and apparently there's this young lady named Kara. I think it's either Kara or Kara, I'm not sure. I'll put the link to the article in the description box. You guys can read it for yourselves. I'm going off of memory. But I'm reading, and apparently there's this young influencer. She's a mother of four, and she has an Instagram. I think she has like 1.3 million Instagram followers, so she's pretty popular. And her whole spiel is like, she helps millennials, new parents, particularly the millennial group, with sleep issues that come up when you are a new parent. And if any of you guys are out there and you're parents, you know what it is. So like for the first 2 years, you ain't getting no sleep. There's no such thing as sleep. So I guess from her own experiences, she decided to, put a brand to it and give advice and create these little pamphlets. I think she's charging like $80 a pamphlet, which I think is a little steep But hey, if it works, whatever. So anyway, the whole point is she's an influencer and she's really popular. She's been at it since 2013. So she's been at it for about what, 8 years now, something like that, and going strong. So why is this woman news? Well, apparently her supporters and her followers found out that she was donating to the Trump campaign. Now, we all know that if you're in any way, shape, or form associated with Trump or the Republican Party at this point, you might as well be a member of the Klan. And that goes for all of us, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. If you're a Trump supporter, you're a white supremacist. And so it came out, and of course, a lot of people dropped her. I don't know how many. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that significant, but cancel culture vultures are at it again, ladies and gentlemen. And they decided that they were going to go ahead and not follow her. And the reasons that they were some of these people were giving in the article was that they could not, in good conscience, support someone who, in turn, was backing financially a president who was locking babies in cages. And they just couldn't. They like her stuff. They found her helpful, but they were so saddened and disappointed by this Trump news. And I think, the total amount of contribution that she gave, which I don't even think the amount really matters, but it was like under $1,500 over a period of time. And I'm thinking to myself, really? And so at the same time that these people were trying to voice their morality and stand on their morals and whatever they think they're doing, they were in the same breath saying, well, we don't condone cancel culture. We don't support people, basically, threatening, having their livelihoods threatened because of this whole they don't, but at the same time, we're going to cancel this girl. This just doesn't make any sense to me. So, the word tolerant, for whatever reason, just kept popping up in my head as I was reading this, and I'm thinking people are, number one, they're confused. And I will say, if you're voting your morals and your truth and you're this and you're that, then you need to go somewhere and sit down, and you should not be voting in an American election. It is a dog eat dog world. This is the business of elections. That is what it is. You are basically, you're choosing one side of the same coin, the same corrupt coin. I am so sick and tired of people voting their morals. Just like people on the left who sit up here and say that they're Christians, but then they turn around and they support Planned Parenthood and these pro-choice activities. Now, Jesus would not agree with abortion, so you can't leave your morals out of it. I'm tired of it. If you want to be a Christian, fine, be a Christian. But if you want to be in politics, then no, you can't have it both ways. And there's going to have to be a lot of compromise. So getting back to this word tolerant, tolerance is not acceptance. That is not what tolerant means. If I am tolerating you, that means that that I'm having some discomfort at some point. We may not agree politically or anything else like that. I don't have to agree with you in order to work with you. And that's just, for example, I work for the school district. I work for one of the most liberal school districts on the planet. San Francisco Unified is number 7 on the map of large school districts here in California. So it's a pretty big district, and 99.9% of the folks that work within this system are on the left. They are Democrats. They are Joe Biden supporters. I personally believe Joe Biden is a racist. I have said this before. I will say it again. I think he is prejudiced against black people. I think he has not the best intentions. That's why I call him Pander Bear. Everything he does is political. It has nothing to do with race and unity and this camaraderie and, no, he's not. I think he's a straight up racist, and that is just how I feel about it. Does that mean that I think that all of my coworkers are also racist? No. That is not. Do I think they're misguided? Mm-hmm. Do I think they're misinformed? Mm-hmm. Do I think they're asleep at the wheel? Mm-hmm. I think those things. But I don't think they're racist. So I think that when it comes down to tolerance, we really need to understand what that means. We need to be able to get along with people. Just because I'm tolerating you does not necessarily mean that I have to lay down and agree with everything that you say. It does mean that what I like to do, and this is how I personally do it, if I come across somebody whose political or social whatever is not in alignment with mine, and I know that, that's fine. They're entitled to that. But that is not what makes up the entire person. Are they good? Are they a good person? Do they know their job? Are they competent? Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Yes, they are all of these things. Their policies aside. Now, where I begin to take issue is when those policies and practices start to seep into the realm of hypocrisy. And y'all know how the left loves their double standards. Okay, so for example, like the Black Lives Mafia movement, the only way that they're able to try to get away with wearing their gear and rocking their gear and promoting that crap message is that they're pushing it as a social issue. Well, it's a social issue. That's why it's a social issue, so it's okay. No, I don't think so. I will give you a case in point. So, going into these virtual classrooms every day, I have to see the Black Lives Matter, that Black Lives Mafia with the fists in the air and in solidarity. I have to see that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Am I going to tolerate it? Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. Because if they can do that, then I can wear my pro-Trump gear. That's just the way that is. I can have my American flag with my pro-Trump stuff in the back and bet nobody not say anything to me, because if Black Lives Matter is now officially a political movement, we have people who are a part of that mafia who are in Congress. There's a woman right now, don't ask me what state she represents, but she just got in during the last election. It's some Arkansas or somewhere. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's some like deep south stuff. I'll just leave it at that. But they voted her in, and she's in there, and she is a known BLM contributor, maybe even part of the whole BLM thing. And so it's a political thing. So as far as I know, we're not allowed to rep any sort of political contraband while we're at work. Not supposed to happen. So I don't tolerate that. So what I do is I let them know, nope, I don't want to see it. So if I have to see it, I will complain. That's how I deal with it. It's nothing personal, but if I can't wear my Trump gear, you can't wear this Black Lives Mafia stuff. That's just the way it is. Example number 2, gender pronoun games. I support the LGBTQ community. I support my students. I've had plenty of students who have come down the pike that either identify themselves as gay or lesbian or trans. And that is their prerogative, and I will support them. If they want to be called they, them, the whatever, tell me what it is, I will go ahead and respect that. But don't ask me to capitulate. That means when I walk into your classroom and you're saying, I need you to introduce yourself, tell us your name, your preferred gender pronoun, and your favorite color. Well, I'm going to say my name is Miss Tina. I don't use preferred gender pronouns, and my favorite color is black. And one of the reasons, and so that's how I deal with it. So when you're tolerant of something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you just sit there and go, okay, well, I'm going to go, because that's how it is. That's the indoctrination process. You say it and do it long enough, it becomes your truth, not for me. So, I tell people all the time, it's taken me many, many years to get to this place in my life, and nobody gets to tell me how to live it. But I think it's silly, because you don't see me coming into a classroom going, okay, my name is Miss Tina, I identify as black, or please call me African American. We don't do that. I don't come in and go, it's an overreach. We are overcorrecting it way too much. And we've gone beyond tolerant. What that does, it has an adverse effect. People who might be your ally are now going to be like, okay, well, yeah, I support you, but you can't force me to think the way that you do. That's not how that goes. You can still have a difference of opinion. I can still respect your need to identify however you want to identify, but you do not now get to tell me that I have to also identify that way. No, I don't. I'm not telling you have to identify why you're using a gender pronoun. I don't want to get stuck on this thing. But this is a tolerance, is where it's like, well, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, or if you don't think the way I think, then you must be xenophobic, or you must be this, or you must be trans, but everybody's a phobic something. I supported Donald Trump for 2 very solid reasons. The economy and illegal immigration. Those are the things that have affected me personally, on a personal level. I got screwed over during the Obamacare days, when I was struggling during that time. And so during that time, during Obamacare, when it came through, I lost my coverage. I lost a doctor that I had been seeing for 15, 20 years. I have underlying conditions. I had to find a new doctor, and I had to explain my medical history. I had to go into an entirely new system. And this was before I started working for the district. I didn't even have insurance for like a year. And this was after Obamacare came down. And so I was just like, no, I'm not gonna. We need to support. If you're gonna support causes, it can't be. It wasn't a moral issue. It wasn't anything like, oh, well, Obama is this and that. No, 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 no. If you're gonna support him, okay, fine. Maybe he wants to do something with healthcare. I'll give it a try. No, he screwed us over. You won't be getting my vote. That's how it should be. I'm voting my pocket book. That's what I'm voting. I'm voting my safety and security as an American citizen, my rights as an American citizen. You know, I'm voting to keep socialism out of my country. So we all have our what we will and won't tolerate. And I think that when we start nitpicking and going, okay, well, because we can't, you just can't, there is no such thing as a perfect life. Nobody on this planet is perfect. There has been only one recorded human being who had walked this earth who could claim perfection. Just one. And we Christians know who that was. So I think that we get too big headed and too arrogant and too, it's just too much, and it goes just like the left. They can take it too far with the progress for the sake of progress. And now, it's just this whole, I don't know, there is no real tolerance anymore. And I just, I do find it very upsetting. I find it, it concerns me because at the end of the day, and I've always tried to preach from just my perspective of leading with compassion. You got to be able to open up your heart, be compassionate towards others, try to see people for who they are. I am not giving two darns about where you stand politically. It should not get in the way of that. People, losing friends and marriages breaking up and family fighting family and it is over politics. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me. Getting back to this tolerance thing, I don't think everybody on the left is capitulating to this cancel culture thing. I don't think so. I don't think everybody on the left who voted for Joe Biden just is hateful and this and that. We can't think that way. That's the same thing I heard coming out of the Hillary camp when she lost, and now it's the same thing I'm hearing coming out of the right because Trump lost. We need to stop this. That's the whole problem with our government right now. Left and right, they're all attacking each other. And this is what happens when we make decisions based on emotion. We become intolerable at this point, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that it's so basic. It's like parents and children. We love our children, of course. We have a special place in our heart for our kids and for our loved ones, particularly mothers to their children, fathers to their children. We have a bond with our kids. But damn it, there's some years, the first 5, maybe even the first 18, where we just tolerating these people, these little monsters. Okay, we have to work around. You have the terrible twos and the tantrums that go on. You can't beat your kid to death. No, you got to figure out how to get around them. What do? We have to be patient with them. When they start crawling and getting into stuff, it'd be so easy to just snap on them and accuse them of all. They're babies. So what do? We put up gates. We plug up the little holes. We tape stuff off. We do whatever we need to do, even at our own discomfort, because we know that this is a life that is just starting out, that is trying to figure it out, that is trying to learn. And maybe I'm just naive in this or just sort of overgeneralizing this for some of you, but I honestly think that's how I deal with people now. I literally deal with people as if they were a bunch of toddlers. So my thing is, we can tolerate a lot of things, but tolerance is not acceptance, ladies and gentlemen. My patriots, that's not what it means. So we don't have to take this line down. Right now, in the moment, I am on the Recall Gavin Newsom. I'm in that effort, and I'm looking at some other things. I'm trying to be careful because I've heard tell by some close family members that they're concerned that I might end up joining some sort of right-wing militia group because of the whole Trump thing. And I'm thinking to myself, I might be a lot of things, but the last time I checked, I ain't stupid. So for you out there, family who are watching, it's not going to happen. Okay. I'm not going to go rogue. I like a good protest every once in a while if something comes out of it. but I'm more of a rally girl. I like to rally. I like to be among, peaceful people. I'm not trying to get involved in some sort of militia. It ain't ever that serious. So that's not gonna happen. And that's just the way that is. So you don't have to worry. I'm fine. But so I think with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I just want to say, of course, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay strong. It's going to be a challenge over the next 4 years, but it's nothing that we Patriots haven't faced. We've been through quite a bit the last 4 years, and I think that it's going to be okay. As long as we remember to lead with compassion and empathy and try to exercise as much reasonable tolerance as we possibly can. All right. Peace.